Good afternoon and welcome to BJC Mitzvah Day number 208, part 1, a new mitzvah. Mitzvah Day keeps your soul in its way, the prohibition to give of one's offspring to Molech. Well, let's see what this means. This is also found in the third book, Vayikra, Parshas Achrei Mos. Says the verse, "You shall not give from among your offspring to pass through for Molech, and do not profane the name of your God. I am Hashem." And again, that's from Vayikra, the third book, chapter 18, verse 21. One of the depraved practices that the Canaanites of old engaged in was the bizarre ritual of Molech, as it is described in the Torah. See Deuteronomy, Devarim. This entailed passing one's child through flames. However, as Chinuch will explain, there was a dispute among Rishonim whether the child was actually burned in the fire or was only passed through the fire without being burned. As for the purpose for which the Canaanites engaged in this ritual, the Gemara in Sanhedrin records a disagreement whether Molech was a form of idol worship in which children were passed through fire as an offering, or it was merely a pagan rite that it had similarity to avodah zarah, to idol worship, but was not actual idolatry. In presenting this mitzvah, the Chinuch adopts the view that Molech was a form of avodah zarah, idol worship. We are commanded not to give some of our children to pass before the avodah zarah, the idol worship that was commonly made by people in the era of the giving of the Torah, whose name was Molech. As it is stated, "You shall not give from among your offspring to pass through Molech, for Molech." This term, "from among your offspring," means to say that the prohibition applies only when you give some of your offspring for the Molech service. It does not apply to one who gives all of his offspring for Molech. This prohibition is repeated in the Torah, as is written elsewhere. "There shall not be found among you one who passes his son or his daughter through fire," which refers to the Molech ritual. Now let's see the commentary about this. It does not apply to one who gives all his offspring for Molech. One who gives all of his children, for example, he has only one child, or he passes all his children through at the same time, is not liable. Wow. The Chinuch will explain this exception below in his discussion of the underlying purposes of the mitzvah. All right. The Chinuch describes the procedure of the Molech ritual on the basis of the cited verses. This is how they would perform this ritual. The father would give his child over to the priests of Molech in designation for their abomination, in a manner similar to that which is written in the Torah with regard to legitimate sacrificial offerings brought in the Beis Hamikdash, the temple. "And you shall give them to the Kohen." And perhaps the priests would perform a waving or bringing close service before the Molech idol in the manner done with some offerings in the Beis Hamikdash, in the temple. Afterwards, the priests would return the child to the father. They would then kindle a large fire in front of the idol, and the father would take his son and pass him through the flames of the fire. In this vein, the sages said in Talmud Yerushalmi as follows: one is not liable for transgressing this prohibition unless he gives his child over to the priests and then takes him back from them and passes him through the flames. Okay, we will continue with this mitzvah, God willing, tomorrow. We'll probably do 3 or 4 parts to this. Thank you for listening to the sponsor of BJC Mitzvah, 36,100 Gold. Have a great day.